I made my cross member, and I welded that on. So these angles were fixed. And then I've been measuring, and of course measuring again. 2 or 3 times is not a bad idea. Lengthwise, I made my decision, and of course it has to be centered, and the angle has to be right. So I have this angle on, and this is the center, hopefully, of the bed. So pretty much, I think my tongue, because that's of course what it's called, my tongue is in the place where I want it. I'm going to measure again. I use these measurements. I measure to get a straight line here, but I also measure from out here in the corners to a center point here to make sure again that the tongue is centered. And now, of course, I also have to pay attention to making it level with the rest of the bed. And when I'm hopefully pretty certain that that's been accomplished, I'm going to weld it. As you'll see later on, I will also be welding in some structural supports to make sure that this part does not come away from the rest of the bed. So I have the tongue in place. I've been measuring and measuring again, and so far it seems to be in the place where I want it. It seems to have the same distances, so it's fairly straight. It's level, at least to my requirements. I've also made some reinforcement pieces that I've welded into these angles and also these angles. Well, as I was saying, when the space ran out on my memory card, and yes, I have a camera with an SD memory card, and no, self-made garage is not high-tech. Hopefully it'll work anyway. As I was saying, I've welded in some extra strengthening supports at some of these crucial angles. Also, before the card ran out, I hadn't drilled the holes that I now have. So now the tongue's hookup, the fixture is in place. As I was saying earlier, I ended up with 5 bolt holes and 5 bolts in all. So I'm hoping that will be enough. That will be strong enough. At least it's in accordance with the holes that are on the fixture +1. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the wheels off, and I'm going to flip the bed over and weld the underside, so that all the tubing and all these other welds get welded from both sides. I flipped the bed over, and now I've flipped it back again. I welded all the same welds on the underside. I have been aware that this part of my construction is a vulnerable part, and when I was leaning on it, it had a give in the vertical direction that I wasn't really satisfied with. So I don't know if you will be able to see this on the video, and I can't zoom in because I'm doing this on my own now, but right down here and right down here I've added 2 more pieces of iron at an angle 90 degrees going straight down, and welded them to the joint, to the tongue, and it made a big difference. I don't have at all the same give that I had before, So hopefully that has made a difference. There will be some more pieces added when I start to build the floor, which will give it some more rigidity, some more strength. But it's feeling pretty solid as it is. So the next step is starting to build the floor of the trailer. I'll be back with that.